Hello, and welcome to the Kickers podcast. The four of us are here. This is a rare occurrence. How is everyone? Let's start with Mr. Happy himself. How you doing, Jamie?
I'm not too bad, mate. I'm not too bad. How are you?
Yeah, I am very good, thank you. Mr. Big Deal down there in the corner. How you doing?
Whaley.
Still feeling good, is it? Yeah, no, I'm good.
Yeah, it doesn't sound very good. Just I'm good. Okay. You all right? Oh, good. I'm glad.
Sorry, did you want more enthusiasm?
Yeah, well, I'd like a bit more enthusiasm. You know, we're doing a pod. You know, like our listeners appreciate us. Have a little dance, have a little sing. Why don't you get naked on screen? Timbo, how are you doing, mate?
Mate, I'm all good. I'm excited. I'll give you something. I'll give you some feedback.
You give me some feedback. Cheers, mate. It's good to be back. We did try and get a Saints fan on, but I think we scared them off.
Got Jamie.
Well, they must have known I was on. It would have been fun. But one of the guys who I was trying to get on is a Saints fan, a die-hard Saints fan. But he'll come on the pod another time. So
that'd be good.
All good.
We are talking about Saints tonight. We're going to continue our State of the Franchise series. But before we do, Carson Wentz traded to the Colts for, what was it, a second-round pick and a third-round pick?
It's a conditional second round. It'll probably be a first.
If he stays healthy.
Realistically, it'll be a first. I think.
Rich projecting injuries over there.
No, but it's
what's everyone's thoughts?
Well, Wentz.
Yeah. Just the whole trade in itself.
I think it's good for both. Personally, I think if it ends up being a first as well, then yeah, I think the Eagles have done okay. But I think the Eagles drafted QB at 6 personally as well.
It'd be interesting. I don't know. I think they'll run with Hurts personally. I can't see him drafting them.
They won't be running very far.
That's handy. Tim?
It's made me pick up my first share of Wentz, so I'm happy. I'd purposely avoided him for a while and got him just before, about two weeks ago. When the trade rumours were kicking around, I thought I'd pick him up, and because I didn't see him staying there. Luckily, Alan in that league had been saying that he thinks he'd stay at the Eagles as well, and nobody seemed to want him if he was going to stay at the Eagles. So it with me. So I think it's a good move for Wentz. I don't necessarily rate him, but he was all value for me at the minute. Which, when we're talking fantasy, he's in a good situation. He's behind a great O-line, so his value's gone up for me.
Here's a question for you boys. Does he have a better season than Philip Rivers has just had?
For fantasy, yeah.
Hi, Rachel.
The boys are saying hello. He's waving back. He's come to put a dessert in the oven.
Does he have a better season than Philip Rivers? Do you mean for fantasy or real life?
Let's say both. Let's go both. I think it'll be fairly close.
I think he's better than Phil Rivers on both fronts.
So were you doing the classic? Can I get clarification on the question? Doesn't matter. The answer's still the same.
Yeah,
pretty much.
You're in a bad mood, mate. Like,
he's in a bad mood tonight.
Bad weekend, bad sexual episode. Like, what's going on?
No, I'm fine. I'm fine. No.
He's still annoyed that I took Cole Kmet.
Let's not talk about it. I personally think that we're in a situation where I think he'll have a better fantasy season, but he won't be as effective for the Colts as Phil Rivers was. He'll have a better fantasy season just because he can run the ball. I think the real winner out of this is Jonathan Taylor, because defenses now will have to account for Carson Wentz coming out of the backfield, whereas they didn't have to do that at all with Philip Rivers. Let's be honest. I can probably run faster than Philip Rivers. So.
Yeah, I think you could as well. But did Wentz run as much after his ACL injury when he came back? I know I know there was a drop down, but is there a significant? I can't remember. Was there a significant drop down to the point where he's kind of like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
What I'd say is it's really hard to gauge Wentz off his last 2 years, just because of the scheme has constantly been in flux. Like they seem to draft loads of really fast wide receivers to go over the top and then not play any single type of play that benefited that. So if Wentz can still run, but I don't necessarily think you can gauge whether or not he runs more after the ACL or not, just because that offense has just been really, really weird since. And I think that's more play calling than it is Wentz and the injury.
Yeah.
Remind me when he popped his ACL?
2 years ago?
3 years ago.
Okay, so in 17 he rushed 64 times. 2018, 34 times. That might have been the season he did it. 2019, 62 rushing attempts in the season, 52.
Okay.
So
Not a huge disparity then, is there?
no, the yardage total was pretty similar across those years where he's actually run the ball. So.
Does that split between rushes and scrambles, or are they one and the same?
No, they would just say this is what it is.
Do you think, obviously, with the Colts have got Wentz, do we believe that this is the Colts think they can win the lot in the next year or two?
I think they thought that last year when they brought in Rivers. So
here's one. Who do you think the Colts are better off with this season to win it all? Carson Wentz or Ryan Fitzpatrick? Who gives them a better opportunity, better chance for this
Wentz.
1 year?
yeah, I'm Carson Wentz. I don't do that. I don't do that Fitzpatrick thing.
I'm Fitzpatrick. I think for this year, I'm not saying later on. I think Fitzpatrick gives him a better chance to win. If they want to go all guns blazing, for example, like if the Rams went and didn't trade for Stafford, then they could have got someone like Fitzpatrick that for a 1 year run at it, because the Rams have got 2 years max.
James, can I ask you a question just quickly?
No.
Do you have some Fitzpatrick shares that you're trying to ship on?
I have 0 Ryan Fitzpatrick shares.
Okay, I was just checking. Because
I think he probably has a few Nick Foles shares as well.
I've got 0 Nick Foles.
The Fitzpatrick hasn't got anyone to anywhere. Like that's kind of my gauge. At least Carson Wentz did take the Eagles to the playoffs.
Has Fitzpatrick had a team like the Colts, for example, though? Wentz hasn't either. I'm not saying that Wentz has, because the Colts are a better team than the Eagles teams that he's been with.
I mean, Fitzpatrick just had the Bucs who won it.
How long ago? Yeah, but it's a totally different team now. Totally different team.
There's mere months in between it.
It's not that much different. It really is it. Apart from the one position, the QB, and all right, they changed the tight end a bit, and obviously brought in Antonio Brown, but it's not really that much different.
Significantly better.
I think the big.
Their front was always good. Their front was always good. Their secondary was poor.
I think the difference is actually not on the field; it was on the sideline. That's the biggest difference that Tampa had.
Yeah.
Who was the coach then?
Was Arians, but it was the defensive coach. So Bowles wasn't there, was he?
No. Yeah. Bowles has made a big difference there.
Yeah, I'm joking with that. To answer the question, I'm Wentz in that. If you ask me to pick between Stafford and Wentz on that, I'm Stafford.
Yeah.
So
I'm with you as well, mate.
I like the move personally. I think it gives everyone an upgrade for the Colts. So I like the move.
Yeah, it's good for both.
Right, let's get down to it. It's time to annoy every Saints fan that we probably know. Well, Jamie anyway. I'm going to put up the depth chart quickly.
Shouldn't take long.
There we go. It's right there. Look at that.
Are we splitting this across a few pods? Because I think QB might take the whole of this one up.
Well, we always start with QB, so we will start with QB. Drew Brees, well, he's going to retire. I believe Taysom Hill and Jameis are both free agents.
No, Taysom isn't. Taysom signed like a $16 million a year or $23 million, some stupidly overpaid contract.
Okay, yeah, so we've already started with the bashes.
No, that's not bashing. That's the truth. Look at his
I
contract.
actually personally think Winston will end up back with the Saints on a cheap deal.
When has Breeze got to retire? Like, because there'll be a point when it benefits him or the team or something like that. Is there a point where he will do it, or are we saying that there's still a chance he comes back?
Oh, he's not coming back.
No, I'm pretty sure. So he recently changed his base salary to, I think, the minimum, which basically means that the bonus amount will be split over the next 2 years, which helps him some cap. I can't see he's doing that if he's coming back.
Right. Didn't he have a meeting with him yesterday or something? Breeze.
Yeah. So his base salary for this season now is $1 million. Just north. So I can't see he's coming back.
No, he's not coming back.
No.
So, I mean, I'm under the impression that Winston goes back there on a 1-year deal again on some cheap contract. I don't quite know what they're going to do at QB. I think we could probably get a mixture of both of them coming in and out of the game if they bring Winston back. I personally don't want nothing to do with Taysom Hill. He infuriates me for fantasy.
No, I don't want Taysom.
Right. If you've got Taysom on your roster, you've got him. You got him. Yeah, you got him for nothing. He's. If we're coming at this from a fantasy point of view, you're not buying, you're selling, and if you're not getting started QB money, you keep him because he could start, and he could very well be fantasy relevant in the position. I'm not going to say he's going to be good, but fantasy relevant because he understands scheme. I don't think he's very good, but I mean, we all know that rushing QBs get a lot of points. So if it's RPO and dump offs to Thomas and Kamara, then I'll take it. I'm not drafting him. I'm not buying him, but yeah, that's my kind of take on him.
I would say that I am this. If Jameis Winston signs again signs a 1-year contract or a contract with the Saints, I'm as confident as saying that I will wear a New Orleans Saints jersey if someone sends me one to wear live on stream if Jameis Winston isn't the star in week 1. And I hate the Saints.
Can we buy him a jersey?
Someone will send one. An
Let's
old
just
one
get
or
one
something.
with Slant Boy on the side of it or something.
But I genuinely think that Winston will be, if he's back, he'll be the day 1 starter, week 1 starter.
Message you and see what he's got for us on a 1-week rental. I'm sure he's an absolute peach. If he's got a Lattimore jersey, that'd be brilliant.
What about let's just get the punter, the one from the Super Bowl, whatever he's. Yeah, we'll get that guy. I can't remember his name. He's still on the team, though. I know that. I know he's still on the Saints.
Can you not scroll down your list, Jack?
Is it Morton? Something. What is his name?
More. Something. It is
Morstead. There we go.
Morstead.
Let's get him a Morstead Saints jersey.
Does anyone else think that? Am I the only one who thinks that Winston, if he signs, will be the day week 1 starter there?
I think he signs if he's going to be.
I thought he was going to be the starter halfway through the season, and he wasn't.
Wasn't that kind of more that Peyton wanted to see what he had in Taysom Hill because they'd seen Jameis Winston. He'd done a couple of seasons. They had no idea what they had with Hill. They really didn't. As a full-time QB.
It makes sense
what I heard,
for us, right? To see what Taysom Hill had. But I think we all looked at it and went, after a couple of snaps, we were like, yeah, he hasn't got an arm. He just runs, right? Like it didn't take a lot to figure out. So why didn't Jameis come back in? Because there was a good stretch of games where Breeze wasn't playing and Jameis just wasn't there.
Did Jameis start week 17? Didn't Jameis start or when?
Yeah, he did. He did start week 17.
It was just confusing. Peyton was fucking.
I think if they re-sign Winston, I really do think you're going to get a mixture of both throughout the year, and I don't think it's particularly great for anything on this team, fantasy-wise.
You're probably right.
I think.
So we're not buying any QB for the Saints unless they draft one.
No. If I was to buy a QB, it would be Winston on the cheap.
Yeah.
I'm not buying Taysom Hill.
No.
Do they draft one?
No. They can't. They won't be able to where they're picking. There'll be no one available for them to draft.
They might get Carl Trask.
They're in salary cap hell as well, the Saints. So
yeah, they'll find a way though. They've got a very good salary cap.
Every team does. Every team finds a way out of the cap hell. They just restructure it differently.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Kingy, anything more to add?
I think you guys nailed it.
Lovely. Let's look at the running backs then. So we've got Alvin Kamara, Latavius Murray, Dwayne Washington, and Ty Montgomery are free agents. The other two are back. I've seen a lot of people's rankings recently with Alvin Kamara as their 101. I can't get on board with that. I like Alvin Kamara a lot. I actually like him a lot, really. But Christian McCaffrey's the 101 at running back for me. I know he was injured, but he's still 101 for me. But
is he the 101 at Houston though?
Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah. If the Panthers do some kind of trade, I'm not saying they will.
You can't do that.
They've got David Johnson, mate. Anyway, so.
I would in a heartbeat. I'd give up Christian McCaffrey to get Deshaun Watson. In a heartbeat.
Well, sure, but they're not going to. And
no, probably
Bill
not.
O'Brien's not the head coach of the Texans anymore. So, I like Alvin Kamara a lot. Like I said, I believe he's a top 5 RB in every format. But we did see a limit to him when Taysom Hill was at QB this year.
Yeah.
And that has to be concerning.
Yeah. I actually think we probably, for the sake of all the rest of this chat, need to decide who we think QB is going to be. So I assume we all seemed like we were hinting it's going to be Jameis. Yeah. Because a lot of these players are going to have varied value depending on who it is, right?
Yeah, I just think it'll be if Jameis is the QB. I don't think that benefits. It probably benefits Kamara a little bit more than Taysom Hill, but I still don't think it's much of a upgrade there. I do believe both. Like I said, I believe both the QBs will. It'll be a bit of both all year, and it's going to be horrible. Because everyone knows. We all know what Winston's like. He could. I don't know, he could throw for 4 touchdowns in one game, but he could also throw for about 6 picks in the game. We all know what he's like. So, I'm sure Sean Payton's not going to put up with that. So I believe if Winston is the QB, that's better for Kamara. Not much, but I believe it's better. If Taysom Hill's the QB, I think that's bad for Kamara.
I agree that if Winston's the QB, it's better for Kamara. I'm across the board. If Winston's the QB, it's better for everyone.
For sure. I agree with that.
I think with Kamara, I think it's more than just a little bit because Kamara's going to see the ball within 5 yards of the end zone. with Winston, and he's not going to see it with Taysom Hill because Taysom Hill is going to just do what Josh Allen does, as we saw, gets the ball and he's going to run it for 5 yards in. Just what they're going to do.
Just a little take on it. We saw Kamara at his best with a compliment, and Latavius Murray's a really good compliment, right? But do the Saints stick with Latavius? Because I think he's quite a high cap this year. He's 31, and I just did a little Google, and they're linked with people like Chris Carson to replace.
Don't send Chris Carson there. For the love of God, do not send Chris Carson there. Please, no. His cap hit this year, Murray's cap hit this year is $4 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4.1. I know you be able to clear 2.5.
I think Murray's back anyway.
Yeah, I think at that cost, I think if Kamara got injured, we've seen Murray step in and do a very good job. And for $4 million, I think that's money well spent for the Saints. I do think they might draft someone in the later rounds and just see if the other two, if Montgomery and Washington are free agents this offseason. So they might draft one, but not anyone that's going to be really relevant.
I mean, I'm looking down the list of free agent running backs that are coming into free agency now, and it shows how much they got paid last season. So the only one that I would say, because you're really saying they're inside cap hell, so you need to be probably spending less than $2.5 million. Otherwise, they're not going to cut him because there's no benefit, right? The only name that I can really see that I'd particularly want, realistically, would be Devonta Freeman as a complement piece.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like, the rest of it's just kind of like, ugh, do not want. Like Malcolm Brown, TJ Yeldon, Dion Lewis, they're not going to give you what you need. I think,
How dare you throw shade on TJ Yeldon?
Yeah, come at me.
Let the Saints bring in Todd Gurley.
Oh God, no.
Would they bring back Mark Ingram?
That's a possibility.
He was $5 million last season, but I guess for the Saints he might take a discount, right?
Yeah.
Interesting. So, Kamara, what are we doing with these running backs? Buying, selling, holding?
I'd sell Kamara. Like,
I agree.
I just think his value now is quite high with these uncertainties. As more of these uncertainties become unknown, the only thing I can think of is actually hurting. So I think sell high now and pick up a couple of pieces. You go back.
See, you're thinking that his value's kind of at a very, very high point, even with the uncertainty. I'm looking at it another way, that I think his value is a little bit lower than, because of the uncertainties. We kind of see it two different ways. For me, I would buy Kamara, not at a. I'd obviously have a limit of what I'd want to go to, and worst case scenario, he drops down a little bit in value. Best case scenario is he goes nuts and his value skyrockets. I think it's a gamble because you're gambling on what the Saints are going to do QB wise. I think don't overpay for Kamara, but if you can get him at kind of a market value, maybe a tiny bit under it, I think it's worth a shot. For
so what?
His
value is like market value is
firsts. His value is 2 to 3 first, and I don't think you get him for cheaper than 2 to 3 first.
I don't think his value is diminished at all. To be honest, I've seen a lot of rankings come out over this last week, and I've seen people have him as the 101. Like I said,
I haven't seen that, but yeah,
sorry,
I haven't seen that, but that's a little bit.
Well,
brave. It's brave.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it, but consensus rankings, he's in the top 4. Everyone's top 4. And yeah, for me, I personally don't have him in the top 4 at the minute. I've got him as a top 5. He's my number 5 running back. But there's a lot of risk there. I do agree with Rich. I would be selling right now.
Would you rather have either Josh Jacobs and Joe Mixon, and a mid to late first, or Alvin Kamara?
Yeah, you give me that all day long.
I'd take all that. But that's
no. I know it's Jacobs or Mixon, not all three.
Oh.
So it's Jacobs and a mid to late first, or Mixon and a mid to late first, or Kamara. Which one would you? For me, I'll quite happily take Kamara for that.
Yeah, I'd keep Kamara for that.
Yeah, that to me is, I think, the lowest you're kind of going to get value wise. I'm not. There'll be some people who will say, "Well, Kamara is." I suspect Winston's going to be the QB. It's all going to be fine. He's going to be great again. He's healthy. His value's up here. Okay, that's fine. You just need to know kind of where you're willing to pay for it.
With uncertainty at QB, more often than not, it means the running back gets the ball more than the rest of the team. So they're still going to have an offense.
Oh yeah,
pretty good O-line. It's all right. So
we saw how limited Alvin Kamara can be with Taysom Hill.
Yes,
that's why for me his value's a little bit less.
Yeah, but I've just not seen the value drop like that. I mean, you may well be right, but what I've seen is I've not seen that personally, but we've seen what happens when Taysom Hill. I mean, it was a good chunk as well. It wasn't just 1 or 2 games. It was probably like 6 game stretch, and I think he had 1 good game in that 6 game stretch. I mean, like you literally could not play him. He was like, it got to a point with Kamara, you could not put him in your fantasy team for that week. I do. I think he's a sell, and I mean Murray's just a. I don't know.
Murray's a very, very good handcuff.
Agreed.
What was? It was. Was Breeze back week 16?
Sorry,
was Breeze back week 16?
Breeze was not back week 16.
It wasn't, was it?
I looked it up. So Jameis didn't actually start a single game this season. And Breeze wasn't. Oh no, Breeze was back week 17. My bad.
16.
Week 16, I don't think he was back then. Oh, he was back. Oh wait, am I on the wrong season?
Well, did he start and
I think he started.
And then Jameis replaced him?
Because that was the game Kamara went off and won everyone the playoffs, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was that game. Yeah, where he scored 6 touchdowns. Nice.
Yeah. Breeze is back. He played 91% of the snap count. So yeah, you're absolutely bang on. With Breeze, he was better. So, but you're not getting him at a discount. Doesn't matter which way you look at it. People retain or sell on talent, and don't account that position.
That there is why people are taking him 101. I didn't actually realise he was first amongst all running backs for touchdowns on the season.
Yeah, but take away that 6.
Yeah, you scored 6.
No, agreed. But I believe that's why.
Yeah.
I believe that's why we're seeing him at that sort of value. But if you have a look, just looking at the fantasy points here, you've got 1 game there against Denver in week 12. He scored you 5.2 fantasy points.
Good time.
What'd you say?
I just said good times because I'm pretty sure I probably overloaded him on DFS and a lot that week and just got absolutely bummed. So
yeah, I'm just for me it's banging the same drum again. There's legitimate concerns with Taysom Hill as the quarterback for Alvin Kamara.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Let's look at the wide receivers. So we've got Slant Boy himself, Michael Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders, Marcus Callaway, Deontay Harris, Traquan Smith. Oh God, what are we doing here, boys? Michael
Thomas.
Thomas
Brian
is
Thomas.
surely
Buying.
Brian Thomas.
what with Taysom Hill?
Yeah.
Even with Taysom Hill, when Thomas came back, he still got a fair amount of targets, which I'm sure Rich will be able to tell us.
I'm literally just pulling it out now. So.
Stat boy, find us slant boys. Stats.
Yeah.
As soon as either of you say anything, I'm always like, okay, I'm just gonna bring that up.
I mean, he'd be great with Winston as the QB.
When we talk about these players, and we always talk about it's buying on that talent piece, because you can have a really bad for dynasty. They can have a really bad year. They can have 2 really bad years. Look at like AJ Brown. He's just phenomenal, and we didn't necessarily buy into him because of his landing spot, and his landing spot is becoming better and better. And I think even if the Saints are bad this year, Michael Thomas is still talented enough to put up serious numbers. And the price you're going to get him now is probably the lowest you're going to get him. Well,
Okay.
what, 2 years?
Yeah. I will back up exactly what you said on the lowest you'll get him. Okay, let's theoretically think, hypothetically think, in a startup Superflex 12-team draft, what number QB has Michael Thomas just come, or not just, what number wide receiver has Thomas come off the board at?
His current ADP.
No, I'm looking at a draft now.
Yep.
In a Superflex 12-team PPR, what number wide receiver did he come off the board?
I'm going to go wide receiver 12. I'll go 12.
15.
Okay.
T. Higgins was in front of him. DJ Moore, Alan Robertson, Terry McLaurin, Chris Godwin, Ridley, Hopkins, Lamb, Diggs, Brown, Adams, Hill, and Jefferson.
I like T. Higgins a lot as a player. I've been seeing a lot of mocks recently. There's something about I can't quite get on that train as of yet, that high. Mainly
No,
because
me neither.
Bengals, but
I mean, what I'll tell you, Jamie, is he wasn't going to go. If you didn't pick him, he was going to go very next pick.
Yeah, I know.
In another draft I've seen, he went at 8. He was the 8th wide receiver.
The reason why people feel that is I put up his game log. Michael Thomas didn't score a single touchdown in the season.
he was the wide receiver 1 the previous year, wasn't he?
Yeah, but he didn't score a single touchdown last season, and that's why people are off on him, because, like it or lump it, touchdowns are they're the most unpredictable stat, but they're also the one that everyone basically buys into the most. Because you look at it and he didn't really have a bad game. If he scored a touchdown in any of these, then they would have been absolutely fine. But
he played 7 games and he only hit above 70% snap count in 4. So, it's really hard to judge him on what such a low percentage of the season, but people will. People will. And it's the same way that, Kamara is going above McCaffrey. Do you know what I mean? Because he had that first game, didn't get the ball when they needed a yard run, right? And you overanalyze all these things, but if you take into account just pure talent, he's in the top 5 wide receivers comfortably for me.
With regards to the kind of Thomas and the touchdown point that Rich made, the people who are fading Michael Thomas this year are the same people that fade Julio Jones every single year because, he's not getting the 12, 13, 14 touchdowns every single year. But in PPR, Julio finishes 3, 6, 6, 5, 5. The consistency with Thomas is... Yes, he had a ridiculous season when he was wide receiver 1, but I think wide receiver 15 is ridiculously late for him.
It's horrible.
I would say I would have thought his lowest you probably would have been about the 8 or 9 because he was in 27. That to me, 15 is silly. But
if you got Michael Thomas as your wide receiver number 2, you are laughing your league.
Oh yeah,
You just won it.
Yeah.
So I agree. Michael Thomas is a buy low.
Yeah, he's an absolute low. What about the other guys though?
hi Lewis.
Hey Lewis,
Hey, Lewis.
good question, lad.
Yeah, good question.
I'm just going to text him that now because it's tickling.
I think if we're talking about the other wide receivers, Sanders, is he back? Don't know.
I think it is.
Marcus Callaway showed something when he was playing. Deontay Harris showed something at the end of the year. Traquan Smith has always been a bit of a disappointment for me. Jermaine Johnson, no. Benny Fowler, no. Do we think that the Saints try and bring someone else in if they can possibly try and afford him by finding some money down the back of the sofa?
I think they've got much more pressing needs than a wide receiver, personally. I think Sanders comes back anyway. So
He was good at the end of the season, Sanders.
yeah, he was good at the end of the season.
I like
Don't go out and buy him, but yeah, he was good.
Draft him late.
Harris showed quite a lot.
Yeah.
Wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3, and he was dirt cheap in fantasy. So I've got tons of shares of him. I hope he stays about. What do you reckon, Kingy?
Yeah, I mean, I think Sanders will be back just because of the way that salary cap is for him. It doesn't make a lot of sense to get rid of him because they only cleared $4 million, and you're not going to get a wide receiver of that caliber in for $4 million. It's just not going to happen. So there's no reward in doing it, really. So I think actually in going through a lot of their roster, I think I understand that they'll move money in the cap, but I think a lot of their moves are probably set by how much they'll be able to open up.
Their defense is pretty set, but it's pretty expensive. That's where but that's where they'll just restructure it. They'll just bump money. They'll bonus it. They'll put it if Breeze leaves, when Breeze leaves, they'll put a load of stuff in this year. So they'll do it before they get. So they'll be right now restructuring money and bonuses in and out of the year based on what they've got left. So I could see them drafting a wide receiver. It won't be in any high round, but they could. I think they're pretty set there. And to be honest, I'm buying all of them because they're all cheap. They're all cheap.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see that they bring in like a load of undrafted free agents at wide receiver and try and piece together something. Yeah, just like basically have almost open tryouts for that position and just see what they can do because you've got a great offensive mind there. QB is, I don't want to say completely irrelevant, but somewhat irrelevant because the mind of Sean Payton. So I think they should be able to find creative ways to use players. And you might see Kamara actually in the slot a lot more this season as a result.
Fingers crossed. I know this isn't
value if he stays in the slot.
Yeah.
Well, that would,
this isn't like massively fantasy relevant unless you put IDP, and even then it's really not. Just talking about contract wise, when's Lattimore?
Yeah, so I think he's in his
He's up. He's nearly due for a new contract.
you can't do a podcast without. You cannot do a podcast without mentioning Marshall.
Hold him at cold face.
Yeah, and that was what I was waiting for as well. I would, like the whole of this pod, I've just been waiting for holding at hold face.
I'm not bashing him. I'm just asking about the contract because I know there was rumours that there is a chance that they might not re-sign him.
I thought they had,
or have they?
He's in his 5th year option, so he was selected in the first round, so he's going into his 5th year, which is the team option. So his cap number currently stands at 10.2 million. That'll probably come down when they sign him to a longer term deal.
No, he signed a new deal, hasn't he? Oh no.
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 Right. Let's move on to the tight ends then. So we've got
Cook's gone.
Cook's gone. Well, Jared Cook and Adam Trapman's a nice buy low for me at the minute. Showed some promise in his rookie campaign.
He did all right, didn't he? In flashes.
In flashes, yeah. But that's what you want for year one tight end.
Yeah. I think you'd probably be a little bit more comfortable if Breeze was still the quarterback because, those 5-6 yard passes that Breeze, that's his long ball.
Oh, I'd love it if it's Jameis Winston, though. Look at rate under Jameis Winston.
Exactly. I think it's Troutman's second year, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think there's always going to be this little bit of overexcitement for him. Second year, Cook's gone. He's going to be the number one. Mainly because usually, as we all know, tight ends take probably around three odd years to properly belt in. So I don't think you're going to get loads from Troutman. I think you might get a very solid season.
Yep.
But yeah, it's kind of temper your enthusiasm slightly. But yeah, I really do like him.
His stats are incredible. Not they're just outrageous. So only in 2 games was he targeted more than once, and he's not been targeted more than 3 times. So those other 2 times he was targeted more than once, he was only targeted 3 times. But his yards per carry in games was 17, 8.5, 13, 19, 8, 12, and 22.5.
Not bad.
That is good. Yards per carry, 22.5. So he's definitely showed bits when throwing the ball. Wasn't throwing the ball enough. Jared Cook going alleviates that. But they absolutely sign a vet. There's going to be tons of vets on the market at a really good price when they sign one.
Who is on the market tight end wise?
Henry.
Well, Hunter Henry, but they're not going to be able to bring him in. You're going to be looking at the type likes of Tyler Croft, Jacob Hollister.
That might be an interesting one.
Gerald Everett.
It'll be
Tyler Eifert.
Tyler.
Gerald Everett could be an interesting one. He's really athletic.
Your best friend, Trey Burton. My best friend who let me down in the Super Bowl from scoring. Well, I thought he was going to score 5 touchdowns from 5 catches. Ricky Seals-Jones.
Jimmy Graham available, lads?
He is. Jimmy Graham is a free agent.
I don't think he is.
Is he? No, he's not.
Is he not?
I think he's got another year.
Oh,
There's no way he's finishing on that 100 cap, is he?
They better just release him. Just release Jimmy Graham.
I think I proved it. He was very fantasy relevant last year.
He was pretty good touchdown wise.
So you need though, look at Eric Keeper on that year.
Just get like Kingy's face there. It just hurt him.
I'm not biting. I'm just not biting. It's like Jeff Wilson, Tim Patrick, Jimmy Graham.
Jeff Smith. Get it right.
Whatever.
I'd like Gerald Everett there. Would be a nice fit.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of options.
We've got a little question, boys. Before we continue.
Kamara.
Oh.
Come on.
I don't know. That is.
I'm 10 team now. I'm going Kamara on 10 team.
Okay, right. Hands up. Who's going for the picks?
I think it depends on the situation. So, if you're in a rebuild, I would take the picks.
Yeah.
If you're contending, you keep Kamara.
Yeah.
That's
I
my.
think I'd hold Kamara. I can get more than 2 firsts.
Yeah, and I'm looking at that in a 10-team superflex. I think you're going to get enough value coming around with whatever other picks you've got anyway.
Yeah. Lewis, what have you? I don't know if you can. You probably tell us. Have you got the 107 and 108, or have you got Kamara? And if you have Kamara, what is your other first round pick?
I think I'm in that league.
Is it a pick from you? Is it a trade off from you?
It's not. Did you see the 107 and the 108? Because he's got the 108. He's got the 107.
Yeah, it's 107 and the 108 for Kamara. Or Kamara.
Is this like meta question? Like he's in Tim's league. Tim has Kamara. He's basically going to say, you said on the pod that you'd accept it. So
it's more like if I know that Kamara is available for 2 picks in that league, I might make an offer. No, I'm still saying Kamara in a 10-team league. The 107 and the 108 is less valuable.
Oh, here we go. So he's got the 104, the 107, the 108, and the 109.
Get rid of the 107 and 108 and get Kamara. Do it now.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, do it.
Absolutely do
But
it.
in fact, try the 108 and 109 first.
Yeah, and maybe chuck in. Yeah, do the 108 and the 109, and maybe chuck in like a. Well, I was going to say just chuck in a crappy running back. I don't know who to mention, but
I'd chuck in a 4th because you're not going to have the space on your roster.
Yeah.
Kenyan Drake. But yeah,
But yeah, try the 108, 109. Not in your league, Tim.
It says not in my league. Doesn't say that.
Just to round off this tight end.
Just for clarity, you can say that.
Just to round off this tight end position, we believe Troutman's a buy.
Yeah.
Agreed. Jared Cook's not going back there, is he?
No.
Do you think Jared Cook's get re-signed by anyone?
I think he does. I think he's still probably got a year in the tank.
I think he goes to the Bears if Jimmy
Well, I was thinking he's going to the Bears.
Oh yeah, because the Bears need an 11th tight end on their roster.
That's what they do. That's what they're known as. They don't
Bears or the
like
Seahawks.
QBs. They love tight end. In fact, they should sign Taysom Hill because then they can get both.
Oh, please take Taysom Hill, please. That wraps us up for the Saints. I thought we were quite kind.
I thought I was quite kind, yeah.
Have you took Xanax today or something?
No, I haven't. I really want to say something, but I'm not going to because it's.
Do you know what I reckon it is? Do you know what I reckon it is, Tim? I reckon he's had a proper beer tonight, not a shandy.
I see.
Made him really happy.
here we go.
Oh, he's got some.
And a recording.
A Cordling and a Copperberg.
He's had that before. Oh, man.
Posh twat.
They're both nice.
We're not allowed to swear on stream, are we?
Well, we can. We do have.
Can I just say one thing? And it's not too bad. It's not the worst word ever.
I know what's coming.
Fuck the Saints. That's it. That's all I want to say. I'm a Falcons fan in case anyone didn't know.
Right, boys. We'll wrap it up there with the Saints. What team should we do next week?
Falcons.
Oh, do we have the house down?
I was kind of hoping we could just hold off for weeks for the Falcons.
That's fine. Hold on. Let me just. What I'm going to do is.
Well, actually, should we just put a poll out? Should we put a poll out?
Yeah. Put a poll out.
Let's name 4 teams. We'll put a poll out for the 4 teams.
I was just about to do. I've got like a spin the wheel NFL teams.
Oh, we do like a spin the wheel. Can you share the screen as well? And can we do it live?
Okay, hold on.
Can you share the screen?
Do you need us to film a bit?
Share screen. Share a screen is easy with 2 monitors. I don't care.
Kingy's been quiet tonight. I'm a bit upset. You okay?
I'm fine.
It's kind of a big deal.
How's that?
He's
I feel
currently
really, I feel
I
really
can add
awkward
that,
now
maybe. Wait,
because,
I will add that to the stream.
Can we see that?
You will do in a minute. There we go.
get the binoculars out.
Have you
Yeah,
put
see that.
every team in there?
No, I literally just did random NFL team generator.
Oh,
Alright.
can you zoom in?
So we might have to respin this a few times because
No, I can't zoom in. I'm going to spin it now. First team is who the first one's going to be. The Jacksonville Jaguars.
All right, we'll do them. That's fine. We haven't done the Jets.
No, we're doing 4. We're doing a 4-1.
Oh,
Four teams. So the Jags, who's the second team. The Steelers.
all right.
Jags Steelers.
At least write this down because I will forget.
All the Texans.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
I love all.
The last team.
Love them all.
The last team is. We've already done the Green Bay, so we'll go again. The Indianapolis Colts.
Oh, wow. So we've got 3 teams from the AFC South there. Yeah, that's and we've got the Steelers. So, yeah, I've got it.
He's just very efficient.
I'll put a poll up on the KM handle and we'll go from there with it. Just to wrap us up, boys, anything you've got in your mind? Anything you've done this week? Anything good? Or Jamie?
I've got something that's annoyed me,
Well, that's fine.
and it's going to bore the living crap out of you boys. Jack will probably know it. You know the guy? Do you know the Woodcote Green Garden Centre, Jack?
I do, yes.
Yeah. You know that they were taken over, like 10 years ago, they were taken over by Wyvale and kept exactly the same. This is the 3rd largest garden centre in the UK. And then, like a year ago, they were bought out by Dobbies. Bought out by Dobbies. And I used to like to go and have a wander around, and they've changed the whole thing. They've literally got half of it is now empty, and they're redoing stuff. It looks horrible. So that has annoyed me because I used to have a nice hour walking around buying plants and things and just random crap, and I was in and out in 10 minutes today. I was disappointed.
There you go.
My life, eh?
Woodcote Garden Centre anytime soon, anyone?
It's well exciting.
There goes our sponsorship deal.
With Dobby's garden centres.
I was in advanced talks with Wyvale this week.
Sorry?
We were in advanced talks with Wyvale Gun Centres this week, weren't we? So.
Yeah, we were. You've ruined that now, haven't you?
No, it's fine. Wyvale are gone. I was saying Wyvale were good. It's Dobbies, which are a bunch of dickheads.
Well done for listening, lads.
If you've made it this far, what the hell are you doing?
I can't top that. I've got nothing. I've got nothing. I genuinely racking my brain through that story. Like absolutely nothing. I'm laughing at that story. I've got bugger all.
Okay, let me put it in this way. It's like you boys going to a pub that you like to go to for a drink, like every other weekend or something. And someone else has taken over, and it's turned it into a gay bar. It just looks.
Well,
It just,
nothing wrong
it
with
just
that.
doesn't. No, there's nothing wrong with it, but it doesn't. It's not feeling the mood. Your mood, is it?
Tonight depends what kind of night it is.
Jack, is there something you need to tell us?
It becomes more socially acceptable to drink certain types of drinks, doesn't it? So,
Andy.
Oh God!
I just throw in
down
this-
a horrible dark route here. Kingy,
Well, it wasn't last week, but like since we last recorded, got the new look website up for King Fantasy Sports, which is looking good. Initial feedback's been great, and working on some exciting projects, which will be releasing some news on pretty soon. So,
Kingy, do you have your draft boards out?
I will have my draft boards out pretty soon. basically after the draft is when I start putting them together.
Cool. Because if you are doing a rookie one this year as well, aren't you?
I'm not committed to that yet. I'm looking into it. It is something I'm looking into.
All right, guys, if you think that'd be a really worthwhile addition to your dynasty leagues, please message at Rich King FF and get him to make them, because I think it'd be a really good addition.
At Rich King FF, big deal. Works for fancy pros.
Whaley.
The site looks great, mate. Anyway,
Yeah, cheers.
but Jamie's just ruined any chance of sponsorship for you. So
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but Jamie is what Jamie is.
You are struggling if you're trying to get Wyvale Garden Centres as your sponsor.
That's 3 now. John Lewis, was it like Virgin or something?
yeah,
and now Wyvale Garden.
Definitely John Lewis.
I mean, Jamie, what I'll say to you is we're in the middle of a global pandemic. There's only so many businesses that are even open, and you've literally just shut the door on one of the few that's open.
What, on Dobby? No chance.
Just,
Yeah, I'm ever so sorry for shutting the door on the company who owns the 3rd biggest garden centre in the UK. I'm sure they're struggling.
Times are hard.
He's really upset about this. He's taking it really well.
They've ruined my Sunday afternoon enjoyment.
I would say get a better hobby, mate, to be honest. But
I'd say, yeah, you need to.
What, going and buying just random stuff?
Even your hobby, you're a gardener.
Yeah, but it doesn't. It's totally different. It's nice to just go out with Isabel and Rachel. Let Isabel have a little bit of a run around, go and see the koi carp, just go and have a wander around and look at things that I'm not allowed to buy.
They got rid of the pond with the koi carp in it.
No, they've still got it there. They've still got it there.
You found everyone.
The playground was shut.
I've actually had a really good week. I like Mortal Kombat. It's one of my favourite games franchises, and the film looks fucking excellent. To be fair, it can't be any worse than the original Mortal Kombat film. If you go back and watch that now, that's terrible. And I also, I'm not taking on any leagues as such, or if I do take on any, I ditch one that I don't enjoy anymore. But
Shots fired.
Well, if you're going to send me dodgy trades constantly, then I will ditch your league because it's just not enjoyable for me.
Still in B2B.
Sorry?
Still in B2B, aren't you?
I am the champion of that league, so and I enjoy the wind up in that one. To be fair,
it is.
I was invited by Peter again, the FF German, on Twitter. If you don't follow him, just go and follow him. He's a good guy. Steve was in multiple leagues with him, so it was quite. I was invited basically to his Shark Tank League. It's like Scott Fishbowl's Pigs Leagues. There was an orphan team I took on, and now we're doing the dispersal draft. Yeah, it's good fun. It's an auction, and I keep getting outbid on players, and it's fucking doing my head in at the minute. It's good fun. I did win Chase Claypool the other day, which is quite nice. $190. We've got $2,000 each per team. I paid $190 for Claypool, but it's good. It's good fun, and it takes a lot for me to take a league on now because I'm really cutting down. I have been really good this off season in cutting my league.
Only in 74 now.
No. I really have cut down my leagues. Really have cut. I'm in about 15, which is a good number. I can really concentrate on those leagues. So, like I say, if I do take any more on, it's something that has to really appeal to me, and something else will definitely be going if I do. But I'm quite happy with the leagues that I have at the minute for fantasy.
Auction leagues are great.
Yeah, I love auction leagues. I'm a big fan. That one we done with Jason last year.
That's a tough league as well because that's the salary cap. So
Yeah, we've got a salary cap in that as well. So yeah, it's it's certainly something I do enjoy for fantasy now. Be interesting when Sleeper add that. I believe there's one of their updates coming soon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think so,
it's
yeah.
coming this season. Yeah.
That'd be good. That'd be good. So you can find us on Twitter at kickers_matter. You can find us our work articles over at kingfantasysports.com. Big deal, Whaley, Fantasy Pros King.
I mean, if you want the full address, like the actual page, you can go to kingfantasysports.com or you can go to kingfantasysports.com/kickersmatter and take you directly to the Kickers Matter page. I'll actually be adding shortly like a contact form. So if people have questions, they can put them in there and we'll be able to respond to them on the
Lovely. You can ask Jamie all about the Saints.
Yeah, I'm expecting there to be a lot of guns in the chat now.
Yeah, and Dobby's Garden Centre.
Don't like them.
Cheers, guys, and thanks for watching, everyone. This will obviously come out as a podcast as usual.
Peace out.
Cheers, guys.